Have you been looking for the perfect home? Maybe you've been thinking about building new as opposed to buying previously enjoyed.
Yeah, but when it comes to building, there comes many questions. How do you get started? Should you use a custom builder?
Those answers and more from realtor Troy Trumm of Keller Williams. Welcome back, Troy.
Good to see you, Troy.
Glad to be here.
Good to see you. So, where does a buyer start if they want to build that new home?
Well, first they need to decide what their budget is and where they want to live. Based on that, as kind of a starting point, they can determine whether a production builder or a custom builder would best suit their needs.
Finding the builder. There's a big difference between a production builder, which builds many of the same types of homes, right? And maybe you get a better deal on those. But then there's a custom builder. So what's the major difference and how do you go about selecting those?
Well, production builders build a standard set of floor plans in neighborhoods in which they own the land. Advantages of custom builders is upfront pricing. They have model homes to view so the buyer knows what the end product will look like, and they're less expensive to build. The downside is that there are very few floor plans to choose from and there's no customization. And while the advertised price may be low, the final price, once upgrades are figured in, could be significantly higher. Whereas custom builders, on the other hand, a buyer can basically design the entire home to fit exactly what they want. It's a higher quality of construction and built with a greater attention to detail. On the flip side though, custom homes, they cost more, they take longer to build, and there are many more decisions to make in the building process.
Yeah.
So if someone out there watching wants to start the process, either custom built or the other, how do they go about finding a builder? Because there's a lot of options out there.
Yeah, there are a lot of builders in the Omaha area. So it can be tough to find which builder is the right fit. The best way of finding the right builder is to call me. I have the most comprehensive list of builders in the area, so I can match a buyer with the builder based on what the buyer's looking for. I sit down with buyers, find out what they want in their new home, and then based on that put together a customized list of builders who they should meet with. And best of all, it doesn't cost the buyer a thing.
I can name off a dozen friends that have built homes. And it seems like they're always frustrated with some aspect of it, right? There's a lot of challenges that go along with it. What are some of the problems that buyers face when they're building a new home?
Well, the biggest problem is finding a lot. Right now, there's a shortage of lots available.
Sure,
It's going to be very tough. You might know the area you want to live in, but there may not be lots in the neighborhoods you want to be within. The next is, with the rising costs of construction materials and labor, new construction home prices are on the rise.
Yeah, I think that I know lumber went up in the last year significantly too, raising the price of homes.
Well, speaking of price and the financials of it, how does financing a new construction home work?
Well, first either the buyer or the builder will get a construction loan to pay for the home to be built. And then while it's being built, the lender will pay the builder as specific construction milestones are reached. Then once it's completed, the buyer's mortgage is put in place. Now, if the buyer has a current home and it needs to be sold in order to obtain that mortgage, the builder may require that the buyer's current home be under contract or prior to 60 days of the new home being completed. If it's not, the builder may put the new home on the market available for other buyers to purchase. In order to avoid this situation, I guarantee my clients' homes will be sold, or I'll buy them myself at a price acceptable to them. So that makes building a new home risk-free.
Yeah, that's not a bad deal. One of the things you talk about are these additional expenses. Additional expenses whether you're building your own home or whether you're buying an existing home, because there's additional expenses for both. How do those compare, and what would you recommend to people?
Well, there are some things that are not typically included with a new construction home that would be an additional expense for a buyer, such as the window coverings, garage door openers, washer, dryer, and refrigerator. Now, another thing buyers need to be aware of when buying a new construction home is when they first purchase the home, their taxes are going to be based just on the value of the lot. And it's not until 12 to 18 months after the home's completed that the property is reassessed to include the value of the home. Lot taxes are typically $100 to $200 a year, whereas the fully assessed taxes, depending on the price of the home, might be $5,000 to $15,000 a year. So buyers need to be aware up front that their property taxes are going to jump dramatically once the property is fully assessed.
Yeah, but you get that first year, you get a little bit of a break because you're not paying the full property tax.
You shouldn't get used to that break.
Don't get used to that, right? Don't get too comfortable with that price.
So do you have any other advice, things that buyers should be aware of or wary of?
One thing is that buyers should not meet with a builder without their own agent being present. Many buyers will take this as an opportunity to separate buyers from their agent so the buyer is unrepresented. Now, the builder pays the same commission either way, whether it's all paid to their sales agent or part of it's paid to the buyer's agent. But if they can eliminate the buyer's representation, now the builder has the upper hand in negotiating.
Yeah, we always thought about building a new home, but I don't know that we'll ever get to that point because we're happy where we're
lot of
at.
work.
But there's a lot of work, but there's a lot of benefits that come
Oh,
out
yeah,
of it too.
absolutely.
And if you've got questions out there for Troy, you can just go to the website or trummteam.com, or give them a call 402-884-4848. There's really a lot of things to think about when you're going to think about buying a new home or building a new home.
There sure is.
Yeah, I'd like to build someday. It's going to be a
Someday,
while.
that's
It's going to be a while. Need a family first. Thanks,
Start
Troy.
there.
Appreciate
Thanks, Troy.
it.
Good